Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your co-pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our flight into the universe with just one expression a day. Yesterday, we learned a goal setting phrase back then that's encouraging you to not limiting yourself to one direction. Actually, 4 direction is used. But when Chinese say new integer, use an integer in their expression, either 1, 2, 3. Well, there are specific meanings. And in this case, Chinese view the world on a grid line, just like the Westerners as well. So it's right, a grid line. So that's 四方. Basically, your sense of directions are, directly into 4. And I guess that's the universal, like just intuitively, 4 directions is the way to go. So you are going to aim your goals at all 4 directions. Like you have all kinds of possibilities in front of you. So not limiting yourself to one. And today we're going to continue with fang, which means absolutely different than yesterday. So 不可方物. Let's talk about fang here. So last time we talked about the formation of fang is boat going parallel, boat going parallel, and all of a sudden they need to merge lane, right? In boating, I guess the canal get narrower or something, like they have to become one line. So fang, you started as the boat lane merging becomes direction, right? And then here actually it means I used a simple words as tell, but it means distinguish. So I guess we can view it as look at the things in a coordinate system. I mean, even if it's by French, Descartes, right? Descartes, the mathematicians Descartes come up with this coordinate system that look at things in grid lines, just 2 dimensions, X and Y's, right? We can kind of theorize or visualize our the complex of the world using just this grid line dimension, basically 2 dimensions, right? So I guess that's kind of a cultural crossing over there. Like when we say fang, it's distinguish, to tell. So we kind of also fang means square. When we say well, in English, we have a rectangle, right? And we have square. Square is 2 sides the same length, right? That's square. But in Chinese, this 2, we share very common word, which is fang. Fang means this rectangular structure. So you have fang. If you have a zheng fang, means it's perfectly 2 sides equal, square. And if you have a chang fang, means one side is longer than the other side. That's your rectangle. This is chang fang, this is zheng fang. And fang, it's basically that perpendicular structure. And when we say we want to fang something, that's probably like people are measuring things up or trying to categorize things, try to distinguish. So that's the the beginning of the reasoning of classification of things. So fang wu, wu is things. So fang wu means to tell things from one to another. And since we come here already, the left side is the ox sign. So it's commonly seen farm animal that got horns on the top. Not that obvious here. I really like the stylized Chinese character representation here. I mean, we have a diversity back then before it got, everything looks uniform like this, digitized. It's like there is no texture in there. Things are so sanitized over here, but this is this. It means an ox, an animal, farm animal in specific. So it's a type of thing, I guess, to human. It's not human. That means it's not human related. If it's human, it's this figure, right? It's put on the side. That's something related to human, but this related to an animal, farm animal. And the right side was said to originally mean flag with different stripes on it. So you kind of can see the motion, the sideways motion of a flag spreading out, right? And there are strokes on it. Oh, I guess back then, flags are also a thing. It's the earliest days of branding, of differentiating your tribe or your group or your brand from others. So they have to use different stripes or different symbols on there. So in any case, it means different. So you have non-human thing with different stripes on. So that's just a variety, diversity of things. So tell things, distinguish A from B. So basically that's what it's about here. But 不可方物, 不, negation, talked about that before. It's a bird shooting upward toward the sky, refusing to get back to Earth. That's saying no to Earth. That's the concept of no. 可 means able. Yes, you can. I kind of forget how this character comes into being, but this is a very commonly used even in contemporary language. 不可 means no can, you cannot. And the negation of Chinese always placed before the verb. So before you know what's going to talk about, you know it's a negation already. So you heard that 不可, 不行, 不能, everything 不 is like before we even know what's the action there, you already know it's impossible, right? So it's no can. We don't say cannot. We say no can. No can tell things. What does that mean? Okay, a beautiful thing. Okay, so basically this is a very ass-kissing phrase made up by a literature man who is so overwhelmed by the beauty in their eyes, beauty in particular women, females. So they saying they are so beautiful, it's beyond my describing, beyond words. Like I cannot compare her beauty with any non-human objects, with any things. So it's okay, you know. Throughout the history, literature man came up all kinds of ways to describe how they feel toward the other, not necessarily the other gender, I guess, but toward the objects of desire. So in this case, I searched on the internet of this phrase, 不可方物, and came up with this picture. So I guess that represents the ideal in the eyes of literature man, or at least the editor, whoever come up with the article to explain what is 不可方物, or use this phrase in there to come up with this language. So this is ancient female attire that got a decorated collar. And you can see things back then were not kind of button up, like, you know, button is a Western clothing device as a way of closure. There are a ton of closures contemporarily, but back then is things you hang on your body and to secure it in their ancient ways. So this is kind of a decorative collar, and you know, the whole structure of, well, I'm not going into details, but okay, this is a representation of how beautiful you know, girls in the eyes of literature man, that they have to say, oh, it's 不可方物. They cannot, it's beyond words. I cannot compare you with anything else. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by just one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.